Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the eSports Weekly. It's been a while. We're in December now.
Yeah.
Adanas joined by Fdot and Hindu once again. We're going to be talking today about the Super Regionals, what happened there, what teams made it. We're going to go over the Worlds brackets a little bit, and then talk about Xbox and MLG Columbus, the final event that we're actually going to be having before the Smite World Championship. 5 weeks. It's like 5 weeks away.
I mean, the year just goes so fast. I feel like it was just a minute ago that I really flew down here for last year's SWC.
Yeah.
And then you said we have one more event, and that is Xbox. So it's not even PC related. All of our PC teams are locked in. This last Xbox tournament is going to be the last Xbox team we have locked in, and we're just ready for the big shebang.
36 days. It's going to go quick as well because you got Christmas and New Year as well. And the EU teams that are going to be, going there, there's more of those, right?
Yeah.
Is there more of those?
We'll get into that.
No. Is there more of
let's
those?
let's talk about North America first, though. The Super Regionals just happened, guys. We're going to take a quick look at the brackets. The big surprise, really, Enemy coming and upsetting Envy and Eager, but Cloud9, they're the top-seeded team heading into Worlds from North America. Cloud9, they're the team that kind of everyone coming into the Super Regionals thought was the best team. Their third seed kind of just didn't represent it. You can see the squad there. Last year's Smite World Championship winners, and it's going to be Baskin replacing Omega this time heading into the SWC. MLC Stealth, actually, though, the MVP from last year, so maybe we'll see a repeat performance from him.
I mean, the Cloud9 team that came to LAN, everybody expected to do very, very well and potentially make it all the way. They did do so. The games against Eagle were fantastic, a very, very close, hard-fought game. Could have gone either way, honestly, from the way they went down.
Agreed.
But now that we're looking further towards Worlds now, a lot of people have been saying that everyone expects Cloud9 to win it now because they feel like
first seeds don't win Smite lands. Proven fact, actually.
It's been proven thus far. I mean, our number one seed, Epsilon, they didn't win on the side of the European regionals, and then our number one seed in North America, we didn't see a win there at all.
Yeah, they were actually upset by Enemy.
Right.
And Enemy, to the first degree, they actually upset Team Solo Mid, because people were, funny enough, everyone was saying behind the scenes here, like, all right, it's going to be Team Solo Mid, they're going to upset Envy, it's going to be crazy.
Yep.
And then Enemy walks right through them. And then the roster that was fully replaced at the beginning of the fall split, everyone super mad at Pain the Beyond. All Pain said was like, I think this roster is better. I'm more confident with this roster.
I don't think I can get to Worlds with my current roster.
Did he say that?
Yes, and I think I can make it with this roster. And what does he do? Makes it and with that roster.
One of the side notes that I really want to bring, away from the stats and everything, is just talking to that Enemy team when they were here for regionals. And, everybody was like, oh, we'll see how these teams do. Enemy walked in, they were like, hey, what's up? We're here to win. They didn't for a second think that they were going to lose.
No, funny enough, I talked to Payne like on the side later. He's like, yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. That's what I told my team. But I was like, I didn't expect to beat TSM. It's like, I told my team that we were going to beat them. He's like, I didn't think we were going to beat them. But he's like, then I'm like, I felt like we could beat Envy after, like, he said after they beat TSM, they're like, I think we can win. After he won game one, he's like, I have the true confidence now.
And just going with how great of a leader he was to really draft that team together, he didn't necessarily feel that they could beat TSM, but by saying that, if you spoke to the other guys, Vicium was sitting there like, we're going to beat TSM. There's not a doubt in my mind. That's the type of leadership that really, we're laughing about it, but in seriousness, that's part of the reason why this team is going to work.
That's the whole job, though. As a leader, you've got to just like lead from the forefront. Even if you don't believe it yourself, make sure the rest of the team do. And it works out for them. Enemy move on. They still, they stumbled against Cloud9 though.
They did
Pretty badly.
They did stumble against Cloud9. It was a 3-0
It was more like
I feel like they kind of had their honeymoon period there. They're like, I feel like that wasn't the same Enemy team we saw versus TSM or Envy.
I agree. I think
coming to Worlds, it'll be
the
different.
pressure was off to an extent, right?
I think they still cared, but like they were pretty relaxed. We qualified a couple European teams, 3 actually.
3? How many?
3
How
European
many?
teams.
EU's the weakest region.
Paradigm though.
Is it?
Coming out first. That's the big one
Don't
for me.
see Eager at Worlds.
Can we?
No TSM either.
You do see Eager at Worlds.
So Paradigm actually struggled against Dignitas in the first round of the bracket. Actually went to all 5 games, and honestly, Paradigm shouldn't even be here. I told this to Trix. Trix like, man, stop saying that.
It's true.
Trix, you don't deserve to be here.
It's true.
I mean, deserve is the wrong word. Trix deserves to be there, but he shouldn't have been there because Dignitas had a massive lead going into Game 5. They completely threw it away. Paradigm ended up winning the final game and advancing on to face Fnatic.
Game 4, Game 5 of that was Dignitas' to lose, and they both lost it. But as well, the Game 2 was the only one that the boys of Paradigm actually won fairly. But that was in picks and bans because Dignitas played really bad in picks and bans, and that's why Game 2 that went. But that was Dignitas' to lose, and they lost it. And Paradigm, well, they capitalized on the mistakes.
And they swept Fnatic, too, is the important thing for me.
That's the thing. They didn't just beat Fnatic, who I think is a very talented squad. Paradigm came out and just absolutely, they took the games right away, didn't have any opposition with their enemy squad. And, you know, you take a look at these guys, the core there in the middle have been together for a long time. You add Funball and Zelia on the ends, and they just sort of have fit in during the regular season and here in the Super Regionals.
Well, the big key here as well is against Fnatic, they prepped against Fnatic. I know they didn't prep.
They didn't prep versus
They were like,
Dignitas.
Dick's not going to do anything to us. Oh my God, they destroyed us in picks and bans every game. We weren't expecting that. That's what they told me afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And then coming up against Fnatic, they knew their game plan. They went in hard and it worked out perfectly for them. And they took that spot away from Fnatic, who, let's be honest, everyone has.
I already know what you're going to say.
The top two.
Say it.
Sure. Can we talk about them beating Epsilon?
Yeah, that's that too. Like sweeping Fnatic and then beating Epsilon in a best of 5 to secure first seed for Europe heading into it and skipping the prelim stages. Like that's crazy.
Because if you tell me that Paradigm struggled against Dignitas to get to the next phase, I'm like, okay, I see that. Paradigm sweeps Fnatic. Oh wow. Okay, I see that. This Paradigm beat Epsilon. I'm sitting there like, wait, what?
The teams always get closer at LAN.
The
teams always get closer
This
at
is
LAN.
a win-win for Paradigm and for Epsilon as well. You've got to look at it that way. Paradigm, they've had the start of the season, you remember these with the super team of EU that spawned, didn't do anything. They came to regionals and didn't do anything. Then they came to the next regionals at the summer and made it to finals after a lucky incident with Barracuda and some McDonald's food. Yep. However, as the season's gone on, life's got better for Paradigm, and they're looking stronger and stronger. Epsilon, however, have gone this whole season as the top dogs, the big boys, the unbeatable team of Europe that will crush everybody. And then they get beat before Worlds, which I'm really pleased about, because now going into Worlds, they won't make those mistakes again.
Also, first seeds don't win lands. Proven fact of Smite. We've had two.
So that's you telling me? Wait. You're telling me NA are resting all now on enemy to win World Tour?
We are, because it's just a proven fact. I mean, look at it. You look at it. There's only been 2 Smite lands from North America and Europe. Obviously, the other regions are different. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'll give it to Epsilon for that one. But it was the Team Solo Mid at Launch Tournament, which actually is the Lobster, Cuvo, Fred, Trix Tank Core that won as a first seed. And then it was the Cognitive Red at last year's North American Regionals that won as first seed. There's only been 2, and there's been over 10 15 Smite lands. Like there's been a lot.
It's been a lot, and it's other regions as well. It's not just it's not just NA and EU that's happening everywhere apart from Avant-Garde.
Avant-Garde, they qualified as first seed. They're the only ones I believe.
And that's Oceania. If you're not following, they look pretty good.
We had one more team though qualify for Worlds.
Oh, was it? Where were they from, Kevin?
Where were they from? They were from Europe.
Tom, do you know where they were from?
You can see them right there on the screen.
I know where they were from.
We had a wild card bracket to have the North America and European third seeds face off. Eager, once again, they went all 5 games with Cloud9. Then they went all 3 with Envy, and then a crushing defeat versus Fnatic.
Easy game, felt like casual.
You weren't even a part of it.
Didn't need to be, still European. That's what we said. Easy game.
I can't believe we qualified 3
If you
European
watched any of the VODs,
man.
any of these games are anything but easy.
My favorite thing about this whole thing is that anyone from NA all year, EU has had to sit here and listen to you guys talk about how we win Worlds. Well, this is our moment to shine, okay?
I'm gonna one up you in a minute. Kevin, why don't we talk about the SWC brackets?
Our moment.
I don't want to.
We'll one up.
There's 3 European teams on there.
We'll one up. I promise you we'll get him back.
No,
I don't want to.
I promise you we'll get him back.
No, you won't. So, brackets on your screen you can see, and Epsilon will be faced off against Isurus Gaming, which we'll talk about a little bit as well from Latin America. Match 2 will be Pain Gaming up against OMG. That is Brazil Pain Gaming, and OMGB, the #1 seed from China. And then we've got Enemy up against Avant-Garde. So Enemy #2 seed in North America, and Avant-Garde the #1 from Oceania. And then Fnatic, the #3 wildcard team, will face off against QG, which is Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon Reapers.
Qui-Gon Reapers.
Qui-Gon. I know.
Still working.
I know the next Star Wars movie is close.
Qui-Gon Reapers.
I'm so ready. What if it was that? That'd be great.
They're going to be against Fnatic.
But that team actually has Knight, the returning Anubis player. That was actually the same.
Master Lu, also Mikasa as well.
Mikasa, yes. It's actually the same 5, but they had some visa issues last year, so not the full roster.
OMGB though, That's the team to watch.
That team looks pretty good,
That's
too.
They've got a jungler called Blue Whale.
Worlds is going to be pretty crazy, guys. And if you guys actually want to come, the SWC tickets are on sale. swc.smitecame.com. $1 million is going to be on the line. 10 teams from 5 regions. We just went over the teams that qualified.
Three
it's going to be between January. I know, three from Europe. January 7th to the 10th, so make sure to come out. It's really exciting. It's really fun. It's kind of like a hi-rez con, too. We're going to have Xbox Smite there. There's going to be some Paladin stuff, as well as the open bracket for Xbox Smite, because we're going to be having the Xbox Smite tournament there as well.
It's going to be a big deal. As you can see on the screen, we've got a couple of different ways for teams to organize to get through there. MLG, UMG, and ESL. MLG is actually going to be this upcoming weekend. Will be in Columbus. But then that last spot will be open bracket, so that can mean... Well, not us because we work for hi-rez, but 3 people could just go out, grab 2 more, and then go ahead, fight for your chance to play in the Xbox One tournament at SWC. Take a look. A lot of money on the line there. And some of the teams that have already qualified are actually, let's do the math now. There's 3 teams going from North America and 1 from Europe. Hindu man. So I think all told, NA has more teams at the Smite World Championship.
Bring that back because I knew you were going to get this wrong. How is it 3 teams from NA? Who said there's not going to be a European team turn up at the Smite World Championships to play for that spot? Fdot.
I have faith in the North American natives.
You had faith in the French.
I was going to say the
same thing. They got relegated. Don't have faith with Fdot because it doesn't work out for them.
I was going to say the same thing, guys. But a reminder, though, we talked about it kind of at the beginning. MLG Columbus is going to be this weekend. And we're going to be qualifying the best team from there into the Smite World Championships on Xbox. And this is going to be the 6 top teams from the MLG Pro League that's been going on the past month or so. Eager, Epsilon, there is XGN, Juice Gaming, I believe, Release, and then Elevate.
Yes.
And just to note, Eager has already qualified. So if they win the event, it'll be the 2nd place team that gets that spot.
Have a look at the brackets as well, and you see how this one will play out during the tournament too. And basically, with how that's going to be is, I believe, Release Gaming are number 1 seed, XGN number 2, so they get buys in the first round. You'll see Juice take on Elevate, and Eager face off against Epsilon to get to that semifinals point.
Just to note too, XGN is actually the denial roster for those who don't know.
Oh, is it now?
Plus 1 more. I don't remember who because Walrus didn't come with them.
Is it now?
Do you remember who it is?
I do not.
It's like Mace to the it's like Mace, Bronx, all those people. Schedule on your screen though, guys. If you want to watch it, it's going to be this Saturday and Sunday. We're actually and it's Drelo, so the coach for Enemy is actually on that team as well. Tom, Bart, and I will be casting, so it's going to be pretty good.
I'll be going. It should be a lot of fun. I'm actually really excited about this because the MLG, there's other games going on as well. The last time there was an MLG event, I think New Orleans, a lot of our guys were talking about how interested in Smite the other players and fans were. They were there for whatever game they were there for. They took a look at the Smite tournament and just so many new eyes taking a look at it. And that's the part that's really exciting. Oh, you've never heard about Smite? Well, you can be Thor. Check this out. And then you get like, one of the better players playing Thor. That's something cool to show your friends.
It's also a swan song as well for North America because it's going to be the last tournament of the year that you win something, right?
It's actually the only last tournament of the year.
No, wow. Same thing, right? It's the only way you're going to win anything.
It's actually the only tournament left this year.
Well,
I know what you're trying to get at, but Worlds is next year.
Technically, our calendar starts in
February. All right. I have one final question for you guys real quick.
EU.
I'm going to come to Tom first.
NA.
China.
Okay, this is actually you're actually kind of answering it already.
Brazil, Latin America,
stop.
then NA.
What international team do you think has a chance of upsetting and getting further in the brackets? And which team do you think is going to win it all? Tom, you first.
Which team do I think is going to win it all? It's very complicated. I don't like giving a dedicated answer.
No, just like you don't have to commit now. Once we get to Worlds, you can change it. But like right now, who do you think?
I put money on Epsilon.
Okay.
I still want to see the way they play against other teams, especially after losing, blah, blah, blah. But I say Epsilon.
An international team?
International team, I do have an eye on QC, but Icarus gets a lot of my attention.
From LATAM?
Yes.
Those are pretty good?
Yeah.
Hindu?
Fnatic, then Epsilon. One of those two for me.
Oh, just pick one.
Pick one.
Fnatic.
Okay.
I got Fnatic over Epsilon just because of experience of being at Worlds before.
Okay.
And the mistakes they made last year, they won't make again. An upset team, I'm going to go with OMGB.
All right. So we got some China boys.
That China team.
So 4 different teams. Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's cool.
That's pretty good.
Exciting.
I'm looking at repeat boys. I know first seeds don't win, but I'm looking at Cloud9. And then back-to-back boys.
Like they're on the cover of Lethal Weapon? You really think that's going to happen?
I don't know. And I agree. I think QC, I'm looking pretty interested to see how they play. Although they did lose to OMGB. We'll have to see. Let's see. All right, guys, that's going to do it for myself and my 2 troublemakers. on the Esports Weekly. We'll be back next week to discuss some more interesting things.
We'll go more in depth about the teams that are going to Worlds and actually talk about every single team and who to look out for, because some of these teams you won't recognize, and well, we're doing the research too.
All right, guys, MLG Columbus this weekend. Have a good one.
See ya.